Poise. Oh, sorry, you have a question.
In response to dress code, should our expectation be similar to district dress code? So girls should go short skirts.
Oh, I just had a short skirt discussion with students. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I wore mini skirts in the 70s to teach in California. But I knew how to walk with them. I knew how to sit. I knew how to move. That's the style right now. Some of the shirts that you see the kids wear that are very low cut, I'm telling you, that's the style. We have tried. I mean, there are like, they're used to seeing each other like this. On the speech team, I have a no cleavage rule for competitions, for nationals. We're going to nationals in a couple of weeks. I said, no girls. No. And no really high heels because you won't stand right. Things like that. But I guess I'd be careful. We have generational standards about fashion. And you have to realize what's out there right now. And some of the kids, that we see it more with the girls, although the boys have the droopy pants frequently. But I guess I wouldn't try to rate them on the style unless there's something distracting. That's the rule I use. If it's too distracting from what you're saying, that's not good. Does that help? The distraction thing? Rather than trying to judge if something's a little too short, a little too this, a little too that. Can we live with that? If we look at it as if it's a distraction. On poise, my general rule about poise would simply be, if you make a mistake, fine. We all make 40, 50, 60 a day. It's how you recover. It's not the fact of the mistake. That's not an issue. It's how you handle it. And if they go bleh, you know, and do stuff like that, well, that's not really very much poise in exhibition. All right? The audiovisual component, you should see some evidence of work to put this together. You're not going to accept a stick figure drawing that was hastily done before they came in on a plain piece of paper. That isn't going to make it. On the other hand, it doesn't have to be completely artistic and perfect. It should depict the product and the experience itself, the entire project, to some degree. The kids who build the canoes are the lucky ones. They bring the canoe in, you see it. The ones who've done service projects and have things they can't really bring in, they're forced to think of how to put this in a montage or a collage or, you know, a chart or some other method of presentation. Question and answer. You'll hear me ask a question in at least one of the presentations, maybe two of them tonight, which you're going to watch. It should be questions that you really have. A lot of them never bothered, for instance, never bothered to tell you how they had this interest come about in the first place. Did it happen when they were 4, 6, 16? What made them think about, you know what I mean, building that canoe? Where did that come from? So there should be some things that they probably don't have time to put in their presentation that interest you, that you could ask them about. That's all you're doing. You are not trying to trip them up and point out little flaws, things they've done wrong. That isn't the purpose of the question. It's not an oral exam. All right? It's genuine, interested questions. Okay? Yes?
Since we're getting great on the questions, how many questions would you generally?
I would say 3 to 5 would probably take care of it. Or if you each ask a question, that should, yeah, no, all together. Yeah, 3 or 4 questions, something like that should do it. Yes?
Could you tell me how long most of these are?
6 to 8 minutes.
6 to 8 minutes.
Used to be longer. Okay, we're going to go to the scoring sheet now. Okay. back in the earliest rubric, I said that we talked about the body more when we got to the scoring sheet. Well, if you would look at where it says component 1, 2, and 3, the one thing that I would like to see us change is to align this with the task itself and that content rubric. Because the content rubric lists body all as one thing and it says 10 points, and that's not accurate. It's really 30 points for body, because it's 10 points for each component. This year, we are asking that they have all of the components about equal length. I wouldn't get overly stressed about that. Nobody can make it perfectly. Remember, they're going to be working from note cards. They're not allowed to, unless they have a special modification of some kind, they're not allowed to bring a typewritten script in and read from it. In fact, they're not supposed to read from the note cards. Their whole speech isn't supposed to be on the note cards, just some notes to trigger the memory. Okay? And unless you're standing there with a stopwatch, or you practice it until you sound robotic, it's pretty hard to get them all perfectly equal. And I wouldn't worry about that as long as the balance is there of some kind, okay? I think we've talked about the rest. The one thing I wish we had in their voice, and we'll put it there for next year, is fluency, because that's not there. And the choppiness that can come from false starts and stammering and fillers like and so on, there's no way to account for that right here. But I do. And I would if the fluency was noticeably off, I would lower it by 1 point, even though it doesn't tell you to do that. That's what my suggestion would be. That's what I do when I grade these in class. Okay? All right, any questions so far before you watch some presentations? That's what we do next. Yes?
Presentation mentioned that we have a couple of exchange students already listen to those speeches. And I think we might have to take that into consideration in some cases.
You want to explain it to me, Julian? Why don't you tell them about it, what you mean by take it into consideration, okay?
We have some foreign exchange students here, and I'm in an English class, and we have listened to parts of their speeches already. And some of them, even though I'm pretty familiar with the way they speak, it's a little hard to understand them. So, and I've told them to slow down and relax, but they're pretty nervous. So, as you are grading them, just do take it into consideration and just imagine yourself maybe in a foreign country trying to do the very thing that they're doing. So you could just give them a little bit of leeway as far as their fluency is concerned.
I've also done that with,
I'm sorry?
I've also done that with regular students that you can tell that they're just so afraid when they come into the room. And just to kind of tone it down, I've said a few times, just relax.
Yes.
It's not a big deal.
Right.
Go ahead when you're ready.
Exactly, yes.
What I did, the couple groups that we did was we introduced ourselves to the students. We introduced ourselves to the students, kind of made them feel comfortable before they started.
Oh, before they started.
Before they started. So they knew who we were, we told them that we lived through what we did. And that seemed to relax a lot of students, and they appreciated that.
Many years ago when I was teaching at Pittsburgh, they had a queen contest going on in the auditorium. And I happened to walk in because I was doing drama there. And I walked into the auditorium to take a look at what was going on, and I stood up in the back, and this girl, they're on formals, and they came up to give their little speech. And this one girl completely blanked. Now the judges were sitting in the front row. And I would ask you, by the way, not to sit right up front. Give them some space and spread yourselves out a little if you would not. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, thank you. And they let her stand there. I didn't have a stopwatch, but I'm pretty good at guessing time, and I'm going to guess it was almost 2 minutes. That poor child was in misery. I was about to say something. Wasn't my place, wasn't my business. I couldn't stand the torture much longer. Finally, thank God, one of the judges asked her a question, and she went right on, and she was fine. Didn't have a miss after that. So feel free to be human.